All right, everyone, welcome back.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be diving deep into something I think is super interesting, and that's the world of gymnastics training.
Awesome.
But specifically, we're going to kind of unpack the relationship between gymnastics and weightlifting.
Okay.
And trust me, you might be surprised by some of the stuff we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Our guide for this deep dive is a fantastic article written by Sarah Wynn Ferruzza.
Oh, cool.
And she's a physical therapist and a former gymnast, so she really knows her stuff.
Nice.
And in this article, she argues that weightlifting is actually crucial for gymnasts,
Okay.
especially those who want to, be as good as they can possibly be.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to dive in. I think you guys are going to find this pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting, particularly if you've ever wondered about the role of strength training in gymnastics.
Okay, so right off the bat, Ferruzza lists 4 common objections to weightlifting for a gymnast.
Okay.
And the first one is the fear of getting bulky. Right. I imagine a lot of people, maybe even you, worry that lifting weights will automatically turn these athletes into bodybuilders.
Right.
Is there any truth to that, though?
Yeah, that's a really common misconception. To get really bulky, to pack on a huge amount of muscle mass requires a very specific training regimen and a very, a carefully controlled diet. So just incorporating weightlifting into a balanced gymnastics program is not going to suddenly turn someone into a power lifter.
Got it. So it's not just about lifting weights. It's about how you lift and what your overall goal is.
Exactly. And remember, the goal here is to build strength and resilience for gymnastics,
Right.
not to become a competitive weightlifter.
Right.
We're talking about strength that will help gymnasts be able to do the things they do more safely and effectively.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the idea that body weight training is enough? Because they're flipping and twisting and using their body weight all the time already?
That's true. Gymnasts primarily use their body weight. But if you think about the forces involved, it's not just about, holding your body weight up in a handstand.
Right.
It's about explosive power and speed and rotation and impact.
Right.
Ferruzza gives this crazy example in her article.
Okay.
She says, landing a tumbling pass can generate a force equal to 16 times a gymnast's body weight.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To replicate that kind of force with just bodyweight exercises would be incredibly inefficient.
Right.
And honestly, probably increase the risk of injury.
Wow, 16 times. That's insane. So weightlifting is actually a more efficient way to prepare for those extreme forces.
Absolutely. Imagine trying to do 160 bodyweight squats to mimic the force of 10 tumbling passes.
Right.
Compared to doing, say, 16 squats with a 10-pound weight. It's about working smarter, not just harder.
Yeah.
Plus, weightlifting allows you to target specific muscle groups that might be underdeveloped from relying solely on bodyweight exercises.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light here. It's about building the right kind of strength for the demands of the sport.
Yes.
And that brings us to another common concern, and I think this is a big one, which is safety, especially for younger athletes.
Right.
Is it safe for kids to be lifting weights?
Yeah, I bet that's a question a lot of parents are wondering about.
For sure.
Absolutely. And it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
But just we wouldn't expect a young gymnast to nail a double backflip without proper preparation and guidance.
Yeah.
We wouldn't just hand them a barbell and say, go for it.
Right.
It's about starting with appropriate weights and movements and gradually increasing the challenge as the athlete gets stronger and more skilled.
So it's about having a gradual progression, just like with any other skill in gymnastics.
Exactly. And having a qualified coach who understands both gymnastics and weightlifting and how to do it safely is paramount.
Right.
We have to remember that kids lift weights all the time, carrying groceries, their backpacks, it's all relative.
That's a good point. It really puts things in perspective.
It's not about tossing heavy weights at young athletes.
Yeah.
It's about introducing strength training safely and effectively to support their growth as gymnasts.
Makes perfect sense. And speaking of experts, Ferruzza's 4th objection is the lack of coaching expertise. How important is it to have a coach who really understands the nuances of both gymnastics and weightlifting?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial. A good coach acts as a bridge between these two worlds.
Yeah.
They create a program that complements and balances the demands of gymnastics training.
Right.
Because remember, gymnastics is already incredibly demanding on the body.
Oh, yeah.
Weightlifting shouldn't add more stress, it should enhance performance and reduce the risk of injury.
So it's about finding a coach who can create a tailored program that works in synergy with the athlete's overall training.
Exactly. They need to understand how different muscle groups are used in gymnastics,
Right.
how to strengthen those muscles safely, and how to prevent imbalances that can lead to injuries.
And I'm guessing a lack of that expertise can have some pretty serious consequences.
Unfortunately, yes. Farusa actually shares a story from her own experience
Okay.
that really illustrates this point.
Okay.
During her college gymnastics career, her team didn't have a dedicated strength and conditioning coach,
Wow.
and they mainly relied on bodyweight training. And by her sophomore year, 8 out of 15 girls on the team had torn their ACLs.
8 out of 15. That's wild. While we can't say for certain that those injuries were directly caused by a lack of proper strength training, it certainly raises some red flags.
It really does. And it underscores how important it is to approach strength training for gymnasts with the same level of care and expertise as any other aspect of their development.
Right.
It's an investment in their long-term health and success in the sport.
For sure. So we've debunked some myths about bulkiness and stuff like that.
Right.
And we kind of explored the importance of strength training for gymnasts,
Yeah.
even at a young age, right?
Exactly.
But in Farusa's story, her team didn't have access to a fancy strength coach
Right.
or, all this expensive equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that a valid concern for most people?
That's a really common worry, but Faruza actually argues that you can set up a really solid, weightlifting area for just a few $100s.
Really? Few hundred? That's way less intimidating than I thought.
Yeah.
What kind of equipment are we talking here?
You really don't need a ton of complicated machines or anything.
Okay.
A good set of adjustable dumbbells,
Yeah.
a barbell with weight plates, and a sturdy rack for squats and presses can take you a long way.
Gotcha. So not bad at all. It sounds like creating a basic home gym is pretty doable even on a budget.
Exactly. And you can even get, even more creative with things like resistance bands and medicine balls. Those are great for adding variety and challenge without breaking the bank.
I love that. I love how resourceful you can be with strength training. Okay, so we've covered the importance of strength training. We debunked some myths. We addressed concerns about cost and equipment. And we highlighted the need for qualified coaching.
Right.
But I want to shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about something that Faruza really emphasized, which is injury prevention.
Okay.
She argues that weightlifting, when done correctly, can actually help prevent injuries in gymnasts.
Yes.
Is that something that you see in your experience?
Absolutely. It's not just about performance enhancement.
Yeah.
It's about protecting these athletes from the incredible forces that their bodies experience.
So it's like building a foundation of strength.
Yeah.
Help them withstand those forces.
Exactly. Faruza mentions how strengthening specific muscle groups can help stabilize joints, absorb impact, and improve overall biomechanics. So, for example, strengthening the muscles around the knee can significantly reduce the risk of ACL tears, which, as we saw in Faruza's story, are a huge concern in gymnastics.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's amazing to think that something as simple as weightlifting can have such a profound impact on injury prevention.
Yeah.
Are there any specific examples of exercises that can help with this?
Oh, tons. But one that comes to mind is the Bulgarian split squat.
Okay.
It strengthens the quads, glutes, and hamstrings, which are all crucial for stabilizing the knee joint during landings and dynamic movements.
Interesting. The Bulgarian split squat. Got to remember that one. Okay, we've covered a lot of really specific insights kind of related to gymnastics.
Right.
But what about the bigger picture here? Why does any of this matter for the average person?
That's a great question.
Even if you're not a gymnast, why should you care about strength training?
I think at its core, this is about understanding the power of strength
Yeah.
and how it can transform our lives. It's not about aesthetics or fitting into a certain size.
Right.
It's about building a body that's capable, resilient, and able to move through the world with confidence.
So it's about functional strength.
Yeah.
The kind that helps us in everyday life.
Exactly. Think about all the things we do on a daily basis that require strength.
Right.
Carrying groceries, playing with our kids, going for a hike, or just getting up and down from a chair.
Right.
These all become easier and more enjoyable when we're strong.
Yeah. It makes you realize how much we take our strength for granted.
We really do.
Yeah.
And for athletes, obviously strength training can take their performance to the next level
Right.
and extend their careers.
Sure.
But even for those who aren't competitive athletes, strength training can have a huge impact on their overall health and well-being.
It's about feeling good in your own skin, having energy to do the things you love, and just like feeling strong and capable.
Exactly. It's about investing in yourself, your health, and your future.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that strength training is important for gymnasts and really for everyone.
Right.
But what about the mental aspect? Does strength training have any benefits like beyond the physical?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about the discipline, the perseverance, and the mental toughness it takes to push yourself physically.
Yeah.
Those are qualities that can help you in all areas of life.
Right.
Whether you're facing a challenge at work, dealing with a difficult relationship, or just trying to stay positive when things get tough.
So it's about building resilience, not just in the gym, but in all areas of life.
Precisely. It's about learning to embrace challenges, push past your comfort zone, and come out stronger on the other side.
Mhm.
And that feeling of accomplishment you get when you achieve a fitness goal,
Yeah.
that translates into greater confidence and self-belief that you can carry into other aspects of your life.
Yeah. It's like a powerful ripple effect.
It is.
Okay, before we wrap up, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
We've talked about how weightlifting can benefit gymnasts, but how can, like, someone listening apply these principles to their own fitness routine?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think first it's important to start gradually.
Okay.
Don't try to do too much too soon.
Right.
Listen to your body and gradually increase the weight and intensity as you get stronger.
So start slow and steady. No need to jump right into the deep end.
Exactly. And remember, proper form is crucial.
Yes.
If you're not sure how to do an exercise correctly, ask a qualified trainer or coach for guidance.
Safety first, always.
Yeah.
Anything else people should keep in mind?
I'd say find activities you enjoy.
Hmm.
Strength training doesn't have to be a chore.
Right.
There are so many different ways to challenge yourself, whether it's lifting weights, doing body weight exercises, or even trying a new sport or activity.
Right. It's about finding what works for you and what keeps you motivated.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment and find what you enjoy the most.
I love that advice. It's a reminder that fitness should be fun and empowering, not a source of stress or dread.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about finding what works for you and making it a sustainable part of your life.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing how interconnected our like physical and mental well-being really are.
It really is. It's like that old saying, a healthy mind and a healthy body. They really do go hand in hand.
I totally agree. And, thinking back to Farousa's article,
Yeah.
I was struck by how passionately she advocated for weightlifting and gymnastics.
Yeah.
She didn't just see it as like an optional add-on,
Right.
She really believed it was essential for reaching peak performance and preventing injuries.
Right. And she went so far as to say that not incorporating weightlifting might have even contributed to the end of her own gymnastics career.
Wow.
That's a pretty, powerful statement coming from someone who has lived and breathed the sport.
It is. It makes you realize how important it is to, challenge conventional wisdom and be open to new approaches, especially when it comes to something as physically demanding as gymnastics,
Absolutely. We often get stuck in our traditional ways of thinking. But sometimes what we think is holding us back is actually the key to unlocking our full potential.
And in this case, it seems like weightlifting could be that key for a lot of gymnasts.
Yeah.
It's about giving them the tools they need to not only excel in their sport, but also to build a strong foundation for a lifetime of health and well-being. Right.
I think that's a really crucial point. It's not just about achieving those short-term goals.
Right.
It's about setting these athletes up for success in the long run,
Yeah.
both physically and mentally.
It's about recognizing that strength training is an investment in their future.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about gymnasts either.
Right.
These principles apply to all of us,
Yes.
regardless of our athletic abilities or aspirations.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing the transformative power of strength and how it can impact our lives in such huge ways.
I couldn't agree more. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or simply someone who wants to move through life with more ease and confidence, strength training can make a world of difference.
It's about feeling empowered in your own body, having the energy to pursue your passions, and just feeling capable
Yeah.
of taking on whatever challenges life throws your way.
It's about becoming the strongest, healthiest, most resilient version of yourself. And honestly, who wouldn't want that?
Well said. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive,
We have.
from debunking myths
Yeah.
to exploring the physical and mental benefits of strength training
Right.
to, providing practical tips for getting started.
Yeah.
It's been such a fascinating journey.
It really has. And I hope it's inspired our listeners to reconsider their own relationship with strength training and to embrace the incredible power that it holds.
You too. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm going to leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Can I?
What does strength mean to you? Not just like physical strength,
Right.
but mental and emotional strength as well.
Yeah.
How do you define it? How do you cultivate it? And how has it impacted your life?
That is such a great question to reflect on. And remember, strength isn't just about how much weight you can lift or how fast you can run. It's about your resilience, your determination, your ability to overcome obstacles, and your unwavering belief in yourself.
It's about showing up for yourself day after day
Yes.
and pushing yourself to grow and evolve both physically and mentally.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
So embrace your strength, nurture it, and never underestimate its power to transform your life.
Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible exploration of strength and resilience.
You did a pleasure.
I hope you've come away feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to unleash your own inner strength.
Yes.
So until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and never stop believing in the amazing things you're capable of.